When did you have to choose between following rules and saving your child? Leo was unusually quiet. He winced when I touched his side to lift his shirt, mumbling that it hurt a little. I didn't like the way his skin felt, hot and clammy. No fever yet, but I knew something was wrong. I called the pediatrician's office, and thankfully, they had a walk-in slot open for the afternoon and gave us a time to arrive by. Due to heavy traffic, we were later than they had told us. By the time we got there, Leo was leaning into me more than walking on his own. I checked in at the front desk where a nurse named Pam handed me a clipboard without even looking up. She was scrolling through her phone. I mentioned that Leo seemed to be in more pain than earlier and had started to tremble a bit. "Oh, you were the one that was supposed to be here an hour ago. Take a seat," she said, barely looking up. "You're gonna be at the back of the line now, but we'll call you." The waiting room was full. I kept glancing at the wall clock, watching the second hand drag around. Leo rested his head on my lap and began to whimper softly. I looked down at him. His lips looked pale and he was sweating despite the air conditioning. I approached the desk again. "I really think he's getting worse. He's in a lot of pain and he's not acting like himself at all." Pam sighed and glanced up, her eyes dull and dismissive. "Look, everyone in here thinks their kid's an emergency. Unless he's not breathing or bleeding out, he'll have to wait his turn like everyone else." I bit my tongue and sat back down, trying to keep Leo awake with gentle taps on his cheek. His eyes fluttered. His hands had started to twitch slightly. I didn't know what I was seeing. My mind went a mile a minute. Then he passed out, just slumped forward onto my chest like a marionette whose strings had been cut. "Nurse!" I screamed, running to the desk with Leo limp in my arms. "He passed out. Something is really wrong." She didn't even stand up. "He's probably tired. Happens all the time when kids don't nap. Sit down. You're making a scene." That's when I pulled out my phone and dialed 911. She raised a hand and pointed at a laminated sign behind her. "No emergency calls within building. Notify staff for assistance." "I did notify you," I spat. "You did nothing. I'm telling you, it's disruptive. If you call an ambulance here, it messes up the parking and the whole flow of patients. Just sit down." I looked at her furious and ran out the door with Leo in my arms. I placed him into the back seat. I broke at least 4 traffic laws getting to the ER 10 minutes away. They took one look at him and rushed him in. No clipboard, no waiting room. The doctor later told me that another 5 minutes and Leo might not have made it. Ruptured appendix. Internal bleeding was leading to sepsis already. He spent a week in the hospital. I spent that week in a haze of guilt, fury, and relief. When he was stable and smiling again, propped up in his hospital bed with cartoons playing and his favorite blanket around his shoulders, I went back to the doctor's office. Pam was at the desk again, same blank expression. I dropped an envelope on the counter. "You're being sued." She blinked. "Excuse me?" I turned without another word. The legal process was long, infuriating, and emotionally draining, but I didn't care. I had documentation, hospital records, the 911 transcript, and more than enough witnesses. Months later, I received a certified letter. "We are reaching a settlement agreement to avoid further litigation." It went on to say that the clinic would pay a substantial amount in damages, that the nurse involved was being demoted, retrained under supervision, and that they were implementing a rapid triage protocol for walk-ins, complete with an on-site EMT and an emergency override system that allowed 911 calls when medical staff failed to act. I felt heard and, more importantly, safer for Leo and anyone else who comes after him.